Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting, and I've got a card that I was inspired by a lady whose name has just gone out of my head now. Susie something. I promise I will leave some sort of credit to her later unless her name just pops out of my head. I didn't even write it down. It's Susie something. I saw her on Pinterest and I think her card was a bit smaller than this. I'm trying to upsize cards. A lot of the cards that I see over the internet, I absolutely love them, but I've really gone off 4x6s. I want to make bigger cards. And so this one that I saw on Pinterest, it kind of goes like that. I don't know if you can see that. So it almost looks like, when I looked at it, I thought, oh, that's going to be a Zvold card. And then thought, no, that's not a Zvold card. This is kind of like a card, a backwards card on a card. I don't quite know how to describe that. Anyway, I didn't look at her instructions or anything. I was just inspired by it. And I thought, I'm going to make something with that. I've got loads of DSP and card to use up. You may or may not know at Stamping Up, we're having a massive colour refresh. And also we've got a brand new catalogue coming out in a month's time. I have got to use some of my DSP up, and also inks and cards and things, and all the stamp sets that are going to be retiring in a month. So what I'm hoping to do, I've got 2 weeks annual leave. What I'm hoping to do in those 2 weeks is to showcase to you all of those things that are going to be retiring. Now, there'll be demonstrators out there that will just go straight on to showing you all of the new stuff that's coming out, but I want to show you what it is that's going to be going, to give you that last chance to buy. So if you're in Ireland, Belgium, UK, France, Germany, Austria or the Netherlands, I really struggle with that list, then by all means you can order through me. I'll leave a link to my shop in the description bar. Pop along to that and then make sure that you don't miss out on these when they retire, because when they're gone, they're gone. So this is the card I'm going to make. I've no idea what this card's called. A lot of people say, what's the name of that card? Sorry, absolutely no idea. It's just like, it's an accordion card. It's some sort of accordion card. And I'm using the Hues of Happiness designer series paper. In this particular card, I've used Bermuda Bay cardstock, and I absolutely love the mix of that. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going with it, and I'd love to show you how to make it. I've got nothing pre-prepared or pre-cut because I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to go. What I do know what I want to use, I want to get a bit of romance into this particular card, and I've got this beautiful designer series paper from, I think it's called Floral Lane. I can never remember it. It's from our mini catalogue. This will also retire at the end of April, and I'm just going to quickly find out what it's called. Sorry, there it is, Country Floral Lane. We've got these lovely 6x6 gingham papers, but then we have these 4x4, I'm so sorry, 12x12 papers. Now, it wasn't until I looked closely at this that I realised that this is actually Sweet Sorbet, which are the 2022-2024 in colours. So I've got a sheet of that. Now, for this particular card, you are going to need a 12x12 sheet. I've tried to do it smaller. It's not happening. It's not really working for me to do it smaller, just because the width of this would just be too small. And I think that's as small as I could get it. I would have preferred that to be 2 inches, but it would have meant that I would have needed a piece of card that was 13 inches wide. Now, that's not to say you can't do that, and if you were making a smaller card, then you would be able to make that bigger, but I wanted to make a bigger card. Anyway, I'll stop rabbiting on. So I've got a piece of Sweet Sorbet 12x12. I don't always buy 12x12. It just happened to be that that's all they had in stock. And then I've got this lovely paper here. Now, I'm not going to layer it up like that. I'm actually going to multi-layer this. So I'm going to put some white in between that. So I'm going to use those two. And also the other thing that I'm going to do is use this part of the DSP collection as well. And I'm going to punch some of these. I'll put my brain in a minute. So these are Evening Evergreen leaves and these are Mint Macaron leaves. So I think probably what I'm going to do is just punch 2 lots of these out I think that's Petal Pink. And then put those, instead of this one where I've used big flowers, I'm going to put the hearts. Shall I just crack on and get on with it? Right. So this piece of card, 12 inches wide. I really couldn't get it any narrower than that. And it needs to be 12 inches by 7 inches. It will be a 5x7 card, which is what I'm trying to size all of mine up to now. In my last video, I made this bookbinding card, and I want to make this bigger as well. So I think this is kind of 4x6. I want to try and upsize that. So watch out for that. Yeah, so that's 5x7. It's not 5x7. It's 12x7. Oh goodness, I'm not starting again. I would sometimes be tempted to go, oh heck, let's start again. Just forgive me for my stupidity for a moment. Right, we need to score this at 1 3/4. I'll leave all of the measurements in the description bar, as well as a link to my shop. So 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. Let's put that to one side. We don't need that anymore for a moment. And then what we're going to do, now what I did when I first made this card is that I folded and burnished all of those score lines and realised that actually that wasn't the best thing to do. It did then make it quite difficult to then put my DSP on those panels. So you might not be able to see those score lines on there, perhaps only just where they're catching the light. But it's actually easier to decorate those with DSP and then go in and then fold and burnish them. So what I'm going to do is cut up 4 pieces of basic white cardstock, and they are going to be 1 5/8 by 6 7/8. And then I'm going to cut up 4 pieces of this absolutely delightful designer series paper, and they're going to be 1 1/2 by 6 3/4. So I'm just going to go and quickly cut all of those pieces up, and then we'll stick them all together. Now the thing about it being multi-layered is that it really gives that, I think, that kind of air of luxury about it, that when you put it up out of the envelope, that it, you know, it feels more luxurious because it's multi-layered. So that's going to layer like that. And then we're going to put these, I have to say, it's really quite tricky to see, on each of those panels like that. And we really start to build up the layers on it. Be aware though that if you're sending it, it's probably not going to be normal postage. So let's quickly get these glued. Now I don't speed up my videos or anything. I can't be doing with that. So I'm going to just very quickly stick these on. And if it just seems to take ages, I'll pause the video and then come back. So just a quick kind of chat with you as to what's happening. So we do have, if you're watching this in April 2023, we do have a brand new catalogue that's launching very soon. So demonstrators will be showing some new stuff. I've looked at the catalogue, albeit very briefly, I can't remember when that would have been now, last Wednesday. And it is really lovely. There are some things on there I'm absolutely loving. The new in colours, I'll share some graphics on my Facebook page. If you haven't found me on Facebook or Instagram, just look up Taffy Crafting and you'll see me on there. I'm loving the new in colours. They're very different from this year's in colours. This year's in colours are really bright. And our new in colours aren't, and that's all I'm saying at the moment, but I know there are other demonstrators that are sharing those colours, and I will do in due course. And there are some returning colours that we said goodbye to some time ago, and actually some colours, so what's it called, Lost Lagoon, That's a new one. Well, it's not a new one, it's a returning one. I've not even heard of that one. That must have come back from absolutely yonks ago. And the one that I'm really pleased is coming back is Pretty Peacock, which is just the most delightful colour. It's beautiful. And that, the fact that we're losing Evening Evergreen, which I am extremely sad about, to have that replaced with Pretty Peacock then just puts me in a good mood. So I'm just going to put those on there. And do you know what I love about this Sweet Sorbet colour on this designer series paper is the fact that it looks, you know, a bit washed out in places. I really like that about it. So let's just get those lined up. I'm trying to do these as quickly as possible, but as neatly as possible as well. I am going to be making a point of selling my cards now. A lot of what I make for YouTube quite often just ends up in a box of cards to the side of me. And I do sell some of them, or I use them for friends and family birthday cards. You know, nothing wrong with doing that, but I do find a lot of them, I perhaps don't like them, or I do just end up throwing them away. Now I'm using liquid glue for this just because it's so much easier to manoeuvre onto the card. So you can kind of get it just about in the right place, and then just, you've got enough time just to get that into place. So let's get this last one on. So yeah, I'm at the start of 2 weeks annual leave, and oh, I can't wait. Cannot wait. I get some time to spend with my grandsons, some time to spend with my husband, time to spend with my family. Really looking forward to it. But today, filming this and was just a day of complete rest because I'm so tired. But I couldn't wait to get some craft going. So they are the panels which we can now actually fold and burnish. But I don't want to do that just yet while they're still a little bit wet. So we'll do the inside of this first. So we'll need a piece of basic white again. Like I say, we are going to layer this up. This is going to be really multi-layered. And this needs to measure, I want this to measure 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And that trimmer really helps me to get those exact measurements. Now this isn't going to be for my sentiment because I am seriously layering up this card. It's going to be a card of many layers. So we're going to have that there. And we're also going to have a piece of, oh gosh, that just fits. Oh, it just fits. 4 3/4. Make sure you get the right direction of this. 4 3/4. This will be the top. By 6 3/4. Oh my gosh, it is just right. I think because I was cutting that for the strips of paper that are on the side. So they're going to sit in there like that. Now you might think, gosh, Donna, that's a lot of pattern going on there. But it is, you know, it's purely taste. You know, that's what I've got going on there. You can use any designer series paper you like. As you can see, this designer series paper is double-sided. So if you like the mint macaron and the balmy blue, then that's going to be better for you. But I just couldn't resist those hearts. And we always have some sort of heart paper in our mini catalogue because it captures the Valentine's Day in February. I think Valentine's Day, is that the same day all over the world? Leave me a comment and let me know. Right, I'm just going to leave that for a moment because what I'm going to do is fold this card first. So what we're going to do, if you've got this in front of you, is to fold that over. We need to be really careful because we've got these multi-layers. I'm just going to fold that over there like that. And then we fold the next one back. Be very careful when you are burnishing. fold it back, and then this one comes back that way like that. And then we have our concertina bit. Now there's nothing on the back, but there's nothing stopping you putting something on the back if you want to. Nobody will see it because the card sits like that, but you can, I suppose if you were kind of looking at it from above, then you can see that. Total preference, doesn't matter. So I'm going to put that there, but if you wanted to use something with a bit more contrast, then you could. The thing about card making, especially handmade card making, people say, oh, cards going out of date. I mean, here in the UK, it costs such a lot of money to send anything by mail, but there's nothing nicer than receiving a handmade card. It's not long been my birthday in the last couple of weeks, and I received some handmade cards from my crafty companions, and they're just so special. But the other thing about them is not that somebody's taken the time and the trouble to send you a card and make you a card. It's the fact that it's completely individual. That's what I really like about that. Back to this. My natter in the way. Needs another piece of white. Now that's the thing about making bigger cards. You do get through a lot more cardstock. If you're making 4x6 cards, you tend to be able to make one card with one piece of A4 cardstock. But, price you pay, and if you're selling them, then you're going to be selling them for a bit more. Right, I think I want to trim this piece of card down to 4x6. And it's going to be this piece of card that we're going to use in the middle as a sentiment. And I'm not going to stick it down yet because I prefer to stamp my sentiments before I stick them down, just in case I make a mistake, and then I can just turn it over and stamp it again. So that's going to go on there like that. And in a moment, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to stamp my sentiment in sweet sorbet. So that's going to fold like that. So what I need to do next, by using a piece of sweet sorbet, I'm going to, now I think what I've got to do with this is actually make, now I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this now. No, I think I'm going to make the outside piece in sweet sorbet card, layer it up again, and then put some nice punched shapes on there. So this, gosh, when I was making this prototype, I can't remember how many times I got this particular measurement wrong. Drove me absolutely insane. So that is 5 inches. So yes, 6 inches. 6 inches by 5 inches. I've got to check that. I honestly mucked it up so many times earlier on. Let me get my trusty ruler. Yes, that is 3 inches. I want 2 of those, 6 by 5. Yes, sorry, had to check that. Just because I got it wrong 3 times earlier on. 6. And that should already be by 5 because of we cut it out 12 by 7. So that then left me with 5 inches. And then on the 6 inch side, you are going to score that right bang in the middle at 3 inches. Like that. And then fold it like this, because keep it like that because that's how we're going to open it up. Just give that a good old burnish. And I like to keep looking at the card and seeing where it's all going to be placed. So that's going to go in there like that. And the reason I'm doing this in sweet sorbet and not white, could have done it in white and then, it would have had a bit of a contrast here. But I think because most of this card is going to be seen against this white, that's where that had to be, if that makes sense. I know what I mean. Now, I did it for the other card and I'm going to do it with this one. I'm going to use the deckled rectangles. I absolutely adore these rectangles so much that I want to show you them all. These edges are just lovely. Not only do you get a bit of embossing with these, but then it also cuts these out as well. I'll show you in a second when I die cut it, but it is lovely. And there are so many sizes. These go quite big. This biggest one, I've put my ruler away now. No, I haven't. There it is. This biggest one is just over 5 inches, about 5¼ by 4 inches. So this will be really good to put on a big card. I've probably used all of those. I love them. And even these smaller rectangles are really good for sentiments. So where did I put it back? Did I put it back? Yep, so if I can pick it up. So I'm going to die cut some basic white with this size. And again, it's down to you what size you want to do. Will that fit on there? Oh, quite possibly. No, let's get a bigger piece. So I'm just going to go off now and die cut that. I can't bring my big shot on here. It's too big and it just makes the table and the camera shake. So I'm just going to go and die cut one of these now. So I've die cut that. Now, I don't know if you can see. You just see it's kind of a bit of embossing there, but this lovely kind of crackled edge. I love it. And this had really passed me by in the catalogue last year when the new one came out. And it wasn't until a customer had ordered it. I order for customers on their behalf if they want me to, if they don't want to order through the website. And she ordered it and I saw it on the screen. I thought, I absolutely love that. And I had to just order a set myself. I really got die envy. So that's going to sit on there like that. Now, this can only be one way. It's not quite the same that way. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't use it that way, but it definitely looks better that way. So I'm going to put that there. Now, before I stick any of this down, I need to stamp it. And I also want to punch out, I don't know about the leaves, but definitely punch out some of these hearts. So I'm just trying to find my punch. There it is. It was hiding. Now, the sad thing that happens when a new catalogue comes out is that you lose stuff. Some punches get retired, and I haven't even looked through that list yet. Not properly anyway. Definitely the colours I want to showcase and some of the stamps. The punches I normally get a bit upset about. And do you know what I love about this paper is that it coordinates with this punch. And I think this punch will be staying. I don't know if it is or not, so don't quote me on that one. So what I'm going to be doing is, I don't know if I want to put the leaves on there. It will depend on how this card goes because I've not tried it in this particular way before. I just wanted to show you a couple of ways in which you might be able to arrange them. So I'm not a massive fan of the leaves with the heart. I don't mind the heart on the heart like that. No, I'm going to ditch the leaves. I don't like them at all. And then what I'm going to do is then stamp out this. And then what I'll do is I'll come back to you and we'll put the rest of it together. So I've got 2 hearts that I've punched out. I might use the other 2 hearts as well. I don't know. It just depends. Sometimes you can just stick one too many things down. So they are going to sit on there. But first of all, I want to stamp a sentiment. I'm going to use the same sentiment that I used for my other card. So they are from the Framed Florets stamp set. Okay, so I'm using the stamp for a special friend on a special day. And I'll stamp that first and then I can work out where my hearts are going to go. So I'm going to stamp this in Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to hope that it stamps properly first time and straight. So with this is my 6 inch by, no, yeah, it was 6 inch. I can't remember what it was. 6 inch by 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch by 5 inch piece of card. Sorry, that's just never going to go right, that. Now, what I did with my first card is that I've got that raised using this, I can't remember what they call them now. adhesive strips or something. So I'm going to do the same with this. Again, to give it that, just gives it that bit of luxury, in my opinion. Don't have to have my opinion or share my opinion, but as far as I'm concerned, it used to be years ago that if you were buying something, somebody special, a card, you'd get something really padded. Well, we did here in the UK, something really padded, and it used to come in a box. So that's why I associate something luxurious and all of this, you know, with all of this padding. So I just need to get some in the middle, otherwise it dips. I'm just trying to use all the edges. I'm a little bit frugal with any of my adhesives. Just want to get a little bit more of the top there, and then we can peel it all off. Sorry, that's not gone particularly well there. I'm just going to cut this in half a little bit. That's a bit better. I could have done that a whole lot better. Always feel under that little bit of pressure when you're on camera. So if we get back to this, I'm going to take the backing off of all of these. Sometimes with these, the backing comes off just a little bit too easily, and then it becomes difficult to cut. Right, nearly there. That's it. Right, make sure you've got it the right way up, and then getting it nice and central. Take your time to make sure that you've got it pretty much central. I'm just eyeballing it, but you could put some measurements on if you wanted to. That goes on there, and then I'm just going to layer those on there like that. That one's going to go at that angle, that one at that angle. It doesn't matter if it overlaps, there's room on the card for it to overlap. And I'm just going to put some of the edges here of these Stampin' dimensionals. It really is a case of waste not, want not with these. Using every bit, oh, that's not very good. Using every bit of the stamping, you know, those adhesive foam bits. Is that going to go on there like that? So let's put that on there. And then remove the backing. Like that. Got that one on there. That one like that. And then you could also decorate it with ribbon, with embellishments, you know, rhinestone things, whatever you wanted, whatever suits you. Right, back to the card. Put over here. Now this is going to sit on there like that. So kind of get it central first where you want to be. I want this bit to be in the middle. So what we need to do is, now these hearts give us an absolutely fantastic way of lining this up. That is going to stick to that. It doesn't stick to this, it sticks to here. So what we're going to do is run a line of adhesive, and I'm going to be using tear and tape, which is perfect for this. Tear and tape is super sticky, super sticky. So you've watched me make this pretty much, apart from the odd break where I might have gone and cut up some paper. You've seen me make this pretty much to time, and I've been doing this for about half an hour now. So it doesn't take a huge amount of time to do. So I'm going to put that back there like that. Just make sure that I've got that pretty central and straight. That's the other thing I need to make sure. So open that up there. Get that straight. And you're really just looking to see that you've got it. That's not quite central actually. Yeah, happy with that. Just take your time to make sure that you've got that in the right position. and you're going to stick that there. And then this bit is going to come over here like that. So it doesn't stick to the back, stick in here. So we just need another piece of tear and tape along this edge. I'm always appreciative of people who stick with me to the end of a video. If you've enjoyed this, I really would so appreciate a thumbs up, even a comment. And if you haven't subscribed and this is the first time you've come across me and you want to see more of these, then hit the subscribe button. And let's put that on there like that. So just get underneath there to push that down like that. Now, last bit is our middle piece, which is going to sit in there like that. Now you could, if you wanted to, decorate this piece. You might want to put some stamping on there as well as your sentiment. I'm just going to put on the sentiment because I think there's enough going on in that card. And I just want to get my final thing. And as I said earlier, I normally stamp this first before I stick it down, just in case I make a mistake with the stamping. And this desk has got in such a mess now, I can't find my sweet sorbet ink. There it is. So, wishes for a beautiful birthday. So that's framed florets, but again, you can use whatever sentiment you like. This card, depending on what paper and colours you've used, would match, would be suitable for any type of occasion. So I'm going to glue that down with some liquid glue, which I've put somewhere. There we are. And if you've been watching me and you've got to this end of the video, please leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Have you always been watching me? Or is this the first time that you've come across me? Are there some particular things that you would like me to make? If so, just drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing from people. I try and reply to everything. Sometimes I don't get a notification or I miss a notification. I just realised that my bone folder is quite sticky, so I'm not going to do that anymore. So quite easy to write. You can put any message on there that you want to, and then this folds over like that. If you wanted to, you could add some more colour. I'll tell you what I'm going to do just before I leave you, seeing as you've stuck with me for this long. I'm going to put just a couple of rhinestones on there. It's very red and white, isn't it? So I think that needs to be broken up. I wasn't going to, but I'm looking at it thinking that's very red and white, Donna. You need to break that up. So there we are. That's how we're breaking that up, with a bit of bling. But those bits that we stamped out, you could put those on there as well. Oh, I'm here now. We might as well do it. Just when you thought you'd got rid of me, she's still going. I just looked at it then and thought, oh, it's too red and white. It needs, you might like that. I don't mind it. But I just want to show how you could also, don't quite know where I'm going to put that. Let's put that there like that. Just have a little bit of extra colour. So I've just put a mini stamping dimensional on the back of those. And I'm going to put that one there, like that. So I hope you like that. Two very different looking cards. Got big and floral and bold on here. That's using Hues of Happiness. And then this one we've got using Country Floral Lane with the hearts and the sweet sorbet and white. And I'm going to make another one because I'm going to make a reel for Instagram with this. So I'm going to end up with 3 of them. I just need to find 3 envelopes And then now I'm going to sell them. I'm going to put them on my local crafting page and look to sell those. So that's what I'm going to be doing after this video. Thank you so much for getting to 35 minutes. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment, and I promise I will reply back to you. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.